Hello everyone, we are going to work on the solutions for lesson 10 homework, the graph of functional relationships. Remember that I assigned pages 113 and 114 for homework, so we are going to work on those solutions. So for example, we're going to work, the first one is a prerequisite, compare rates of change. So in this case, the example that we have is Carmen buys a new bicycle. Her weekly payment plan is shown in the table. So this is the weekly payment plan. Okay. Sam also buys a new bicycle. So I'm underlining that one because that's a second bicycle. So there are two bicycles now. His weekly payment plan is shown in the graph. Okay, here's the graph. Find the rate of change for each function and explain what it represents. Remember that rate of change is the slope. Okay, rate of change is the same as slope, or the M in the formula that we've been using. Okay, so I have the table week 0. Okay, amount Carmen owes is 200. Then in the first week, 150. The second week is 100. Third week is 50. Fourth week, she is completely off that payment. So let's keep reading here. So the amount Carmen owes decreases by 50 each week. Okay, decreases by 50 each week. And we can notice here, 200 to 150 is minus 50. 150 to 100 minus 50. 100 to 50 minus 50, and 50 to 0 minus 50. That's the rate of change. Okay, so her rate of change is negative 50. Okay, that's the slope, the rate of change. So in this case, the amount Sam owes decreases by 25. Okay, we can notice this one here. Okay, so we have this graph. Let me graph this one first. So the first week is 0 and 200. Remember that we can make ordered pairs. So 0 in X, 200 in Y. So I can use this one as X and this one as Y. Okay. So the first point is 0 and 200. The second one is 1 and 150. The third one is 2 and 200. The third one is 3 and 50, and last one is 4 and 0. So we can graph this one. I'm going to use a red. So I have 0 and 200 is here because it's 0 in X and 200 in Y. Then I go 1 and 150 here. Then I go 2 and 200. Wait, no, this one is 100. 100, I made a mistake there. 100. So 2 and 100. Then I have 3 and 50. See, it intercept this point. Then 4 and 0. So it ended here. We're going to use a ruler to get that graph going. So if I graph, it's going to be this one. Okay, so we have our graph. They asked me to graph those points, so I just graph those points. Now what they're asking me, the amount Sam owes, okay, now is Sam owes, decreases by 25. So I hope, look at this one. So I go from 125 to 100. That's 25. Okay, then from 100 to 75. That's 25. See, that's the rate of change because it's rise over run. Rise over. But in this case, you're going down. You're going down and to the right. So in this case, it's negative 25 over 1. So equals to negative 25 is the rate of change. So we go 25, 1, 25, 1, 25, 1, 25, 1. That's the rate of change. So let's answer the first question. Knowing all that information from the graph, it says graph Carmen's function on the same grid as Sam's function. Which line is steeper? Which line is steeper? And as we can see, okay, Carmen's line is steeper. It's going down faster than Sam's line. Okay, because the payments are, the rate of change is negative 50, and Sam rate of change is negative 25. So Carmen's is steeper. So we can type here in 1. That's a medium question, okay, medium level question. Carmen's line is steeper than Sam's. Okay, number 2. How does the graph show that the rate of change is negative? So in this case, you can say as the x value of each function increase, the y values decrease. Okay, so see this one, as your x values increase 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, your y values goes down. So that reason why the slope is negative. So in this case, so the lines slant, downward from left to right. Okay, so when the slope is negative, the lines decreases from left to right. It goes down here. If we have a graph and the slope is negative, the lines decreases from left to right. That's when we know that the slope is negative. And if the slope is positive, this graph, the lines increases from left to right. This one when the slope is positive. So let's do number 3. Okay, let's do number 3. I have one more. It's another medium level problem. Number 2 was a basic problem. Number 3 is a medium. Suppose that Sam decides to pay for his bicycle in 2 equal weekly payments. How will that affect his rate of change? Will Sam pay more or less than Carmen each week? Okay, so in this case, remember, Sam decides to pay for his bicycle in 2 equal weekly payments. How will that affect his rate of change? Okay, so in this case, we're going to have that Sam's rate of change will become 62.50 instead of the $25. So in this case, Sam will pay more than Carmen each week. Okay, instead of Carmen, he will pay more. As we can see, he will pay $62.50 than Carmen each week. Okay, so in this case, let's move to page 114. Now we have a second problem. They are asking me to solve. So it says, Hector wants to buy a new computer monitor. The prices and payment options are different at 2 stores. Which store plan has greater monthly payment? And you need to explain, because always we have to explain what's happening. So in this case, a store A payment, okay? So the price of $250, pay $100 at the time of purchase, and then pay 50 per month until the monitor is paid for. Okay, the store B plan, as you can see, the line goes down because it's a payment plan, so the rate of change is negative. Starts in 100, the price is 175, and you went down to 150, so it's a $25. So you went to the right one, 25, 1, 25, 1. So the rate of change is negative 25 in this case. Okay. So in this case, where is the payment? Here, 50. And here is 25. So in this case, we're going to say that store A has a greater monthly payment of $50. Okay, the rate of change for store B is 25. So the monthly payment is $25. Okay, so that's the way we're going to figure out those problems. Okay, next problem. So I have 5. Katia and Adam are both taking a 200-mile road trip. So they're going to a road trip and it's 200 miles. Their driving speeds are shown below. So Katia's speed, this is my graph. Adam's speed, here is the graph. So I have for 0 to 200, 0, 200, and then the hours are the same. Now let's figure out the rate of change so we can answer the questions. Okay, so in this case, look at this one. It went up 40, right 1. Then it went to 80. That means this is 40 again. 1, 40, 1. So the rate of change for this graph is 40. Okay, so she went 40 miles per hour. That road trip is 40 miles per hour. Now let's see Adam. Okay, Adam is a little bit more complicated because it went, you cannot see exactly the rate of change, but I know is bigger than Katia's. Now I can figure out if I go all the way to this point because it's telling me exactly it's at 200. It's at 200 over what? Over 4 hours. So let me say he did 200 miles in 4 hours. So if we simplify, okay, if we simplify that value, we're going to get 50. 200 divided by 4 is equals to 50. So he did miles per hour. And Katia did 40 miles per hour. So let's answer the questions. See this one, I just did this one. Why I didn't use this one? Because I don't know what is the value here. This is 40, this is 80. So it's not exact value. I don't want to speculate on that value. So I'm just going all the way to this exact value, 200 over 40. And I figure out that slope. So in this case, which driver has the greater rate of change? What does this means in the context of the problem? So we know, in this case, if we answer that question, that Adam has the greater rate of change, in this case 50 miles per hour. This means he's driving at a greater speed than Katia. Okay, so question number 6. This is a medium question, medium level. Is look at the graphs. So we look at the graph, okay, in problems 4 and 5. So they have 4 and problem number 5. This is 4, and this is problem number 5, the Katia and Adam, okay? And then it's asking me which graphs have a positive rate of change. Which graph has a positive rate of change? Which graph have a negative rate of change? Well, we know that one. Explain how you know. So in this case, okay, the graphs, I'm going to type the solution, right, a possible solution. So the graphs in problem 5 have a positive rate of change because the lines slant upward from left to right. As I mentioned before, if a graph is growing from left to right, the slope is positive. If the graph decreases from left to right, the slopes are negative. Okay, next one. Remember that we have several questions in the same problem. So in this case, the graph in problem 4 has a negative rate of change because the line slant downward from left to right. Okay, and that's going to be the solution for problem number 6. Remember, if you have any question, send me an email. Send me an email on Google Classroom, and I will be glad to help you out. So I hope you have a great day. Don't forget to submit the homework. Take a picture of it and submit the homework, and I will see you in your classes.